Festive celebrations are underway. Halloween, Day of the Dead, Festival of the Lost. To wrap up our festive conclusion here in Destiny, let's discuss the myths head on. The Headless Ones, the witnesses' involvement, and Easter eggs and references you may have missed. Put on your favorite festival mask guardians and let's get spooky. Festival of the Lost has had many secrets over the years, but today let's go ahead and focus on this year's event and the cool story moments and Easter eggs we received. Before we begin, for fun and the festive celebration of Halloween today, let's give away an emblem. So I recently bought some stuff from the Bungie store and had an extra Exospheric Voyage emblem code, so hidden throughout the video are the 3 separate entries needed to complete that code. Good luck to whoever claims it. Like real-world events, Day of the Dead, Halloween, Festival of the Lost is a celebration of those we've lost and also gives us a chance to slay vicious monsters in the process. The whole theme of this event is basically the city is a giant melting pot, so over the years these celebrations have merged into the very celebration you see taking place in the tower. Over the last couple of years, one of the biggest myths and stories have been that of the Headless Ones. This past week, I've talked about the 3 stories released in the Drowned Captain, the Legion Lost, and the findings of Ido. So it's important to note that although we hear these spooky stories from Glint and Ido, most of it could be just that, a story that's been told over the years and twisted to make it seem more interesting. The Headless Ones are quite mysterious and seem to be canon, but some of the theories posed by Glint from last year raised some eyebrows for sure. He says they could have been Golden Age cave miners turned into Hive Knights, or Exos converted by the Vex. In last year's event, in terms of the most plausible explanation, Glint came up with this, that Nokris was behind the Headless Ones. Nokris would kill the Guardians, extract from their brains the knowledge of these pumpkins, and then brought back some of the Hive Knights and put that pumpkin on their head to symbolize this new nightmare. This year, Ido is kinda weary about Glint's research. It seems the overarching theme of the Hall Between was transgression. It was a time when social strictures were lifted and humans were permitted to cross the boundaries of nature and society. I'm grateful for Glint for conclusively proving the existence of these reclusive creatures. However, my subsequent research with the Guardian leads me to challenge his conclusions regarding their origins. So Ido believes in this Hall Between, which could just be a funny mispronunciation of Halloween, and she doesn't really believe in Glint's previous theories. The Headless Ones are a big mystery. It's kind of like Bigfoot. It's kind of treated like a myth among citizens of the city with different stories, and some are not even sure what to believe. With some of the other lore cards and also spaces in the game, we have cool Easter eggs and references. First up, Ichabod Crane. In Findings of Ido 22, Ido speaks to a cryptarch about the Headless Ones. The cryptarch slides Ido a piece of paper that reads, "A book report," and belonged to a grade 4 researcher. Ido says from this report, she learned the first Headless One was a scientist named Ichabod Crane. So this is pretty hilarious. Ichabod Crane is a fictional character and protagonist in Washington Irving's short story called The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So this kid here was doing a book report on Sleepy Hollow's story, and Ido believed it had something to do with the Headless Ones. In the Drowned Captain 7, we learn of Phizon, a captain of House Dusk, who fought Cabal in this cave and drowned in the waters. In this card, it speaks of a being, the voice in the darkness, the witness, bringing him back though. As his life ether flowed into the murky water, he heard a call. It was not the call of his Khal, nor of his dregs. It was not the call of the great machine, nor that of the awoken prince. It was the call of the voice in the darkness, which bade him to rise, reborn and remade in a form both terrible and terrifying. So this seems like it could just be a spooky story, but maybe it's also true. It's hard to tell with all these fictional stories flowing around, so will Phizon come back, or was this just for fun? One of the exotic emotes for this event is a reference to the 1984 film Ghostbusters. You clearly see the proton pack weapon here, and it's pretty great. The tower always has little secrets sprinkled about. There's candy hidden in both of the trees, the one in the courtyard here, and also in the bazaar near Ikora, if you need a little bit extra for some goodie bags. The tower normally gets festive with music and even some spooky rooms. That secret room near the drifter spawning point is all boarded off, although nothing seems to be past that point, and the ghost room returns beneath Hawthorne.
Okay, I'll take 10%.
This year's armor was chosen to be mech themed, so both the 3 sets along with the sniper represent that choice. Bungie seems to have taken inspiration from various shows and movies, which really does shine throughout the whole design scheme. In Legion Lost 11, Ido speaks to Keitel about the Headless Ones and says, "I am investigating the stories now. Your retainers mentioned a similar tale, and I understand your people have a strong oral tradition. Surely there are accounts of flaming heads, swords of unusual size." That line there may be a reference to the Princess Bride's rodents of unusual size.
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
Anyway, Guardians is all we got for today's video. Wanted to sort of wrap up the stories we talked about over the last week and show you some of the Easter eggs and references from this year's event. If you have any we missed, I did get some comments about certain Easter eggs that I couldn't really find in the game, so I'm not sure if they're true, but if you have any cool ones, be sure to leave them in the comments below. If you'd like to see some other Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.